Rashida Tlaib was involved in a viral story a couple days ago. Here she is weighing in on Hillary Clinton. This is at a live Bernie event. Somebody in the audience boos Hillary Clinton, and then here's her reaction.
This week when someone by the name of Hillary Clinton said that we're not going to boo, we're classy here. We're classy.
I'll boo. You all know I can't be quiet. No, we're going to boo. That's all right. The haters will shut up on Monday when we win.
There we go. I was going to say, a hater.
Now, what's so amazing is how out of touch mainstream media is, because they were falling all over themselves to defend Hillary Clinton and to play the "how dare you, good sir" card and act like this is the most egregious thing that has ever happened ever. Now, I say that's out of touch because, guys, just like with Mitt Romney in 2012, welcome to Loserville. You're a loser. You're a loser. You lost the election. You know, you couldn't do it. You couldn't beat this joke of a human being, this game show host. So, you have a 36% approval rating, Hillary. The sentiment you saw in that room, I got news for you. It's not just Bernie supporters who feel like that, who would boo. It's the overwhelming majority of the country that is uninterested in what you're selling. Now, compare that to the media. The media is not at all indicative of the feelings of the American people. They acted like Hillary Clinton is the queen, and how dare anybody cross her ever. There wasn't 1/10 this outrage from last week when she said nobody likes Bernie Sanders in mainstream media. So let's understand the rules. Hillary Clinton gets to go out there and take gratuitous shots, asinine shots, at Bernie Sanders and the left until she's blue in the face. But if you respond to that, oh my God, it's the end of the world and how dare you. You don't believe in party unity. Why didn't you say she didn't believe in party unity when she was shitting on the front runner last week? Why didn't you say that? Because again, the media is not an amalgamation, or it's not indicative of what the people feel. So, you know, they're elitists in the media. And in the reaction to this Rashida Tlaib moment, they proved it beyond any doubt. So they went off. They acted like what she did was evil. She started feeling bad about what she said, Rashida Tlaib. And so after the media, how dare you, sirred her to death, she said the following, quote, "I'm so incredibly in love with the movement that makes our campaign of Not Me, Us has created. This makes me protective over it and frustrated by attempts to dismiss the strength and diversity of our movement. However, I know what is at stake if we don't unify over one candidate to beat Trump, and I intend to do everything possible to ensure that Trump does not win this election in 2020. In this instance, I allowed my disappointment with Secretary Clinton's latest comments about Senator Sanders and his supporters to get the best of me. You all, my sisters in service, on stage, and our movement deserve better." She says, "I will continue to strive to come from a place of love and not react in the same way of those who are against what we are building in this country. This is about building a just and equitable future for my two boys, children across the country, and future generations." So, listen, that's very classy. It's not really a full apology. She didn't really apologize. But what it is a semi-apology. It's like, okay, listen, let me be more diplomatic right now, and let me tell you what's really going on in my head. I don't like that she keeps taking shots at us. I should have been a bigger person. That's basically what she's saying. File that under semi-apology, in my opinion. You might read it as a full apology. I know I've seen some people who view it as not even a semi-apology. However you want to interpret it, it is what it is. I think that it's relatively clear what she's trying to do there. So, after Rashida Tlaib released that, Hillary Clinton's spokesperson responded and said the following, quote, "I can't imagine this kind of behavior is something Iowans want to see from candidates and their surrogates, and I don't imagine the vast majority of voters in Representative Tlaib's district, which Secretary Clinton won by over 60 points in 2016, want to see this either." They waited until she released her semi-apology, and then they punched her in the face anyway. What did you learn? Okay, listen, this is what I'm trying to tell people. And I've had this fight 1,000 times. Believe it or not, this is one of the things where there's the biggest split among actual leftists. Like, there's a real argument that goes on about this. And as a general rule, leftists or people who want to improve the system and make people's lives better, they're generally kind-hearted people. So the debate that happens is, hey, should we really believe in and try to fight for unity, or do we acknowledge that there's a civil war going on and we ruthlessly fight for our own side in that civil war? Now, you guys are going to be unsurprised to learn that my position in this debate has always been, you have to acknowledge that there's a civil war going on in order to win it. You can't just wish it away. Well, the dominant strain of thought among actual leftists, especially in electoral politics, is, no, we need to be the bigger people and we need to fight for unity. So here you have an instance where Rashida Tlaib is trying to be the bigger person and trying to do exactly that, trying to actually fight for unity. And what she came to learn the hard way is, they don't mean it. They don't mean it. They never meaned it. Ever. This was an establishment protection racket. When they talk about unity, it's to get the left to fall in line behind centrist, neoliberal, corporatist candidates. That's what it's always meant to them. Always. Always. So, now do you see why we have no choice? And here's the deal, guys. I want to be clear about this. The reason why I say acknowledge we're in a democratic civil war and fight for your side so we win the civil war, the reason I say that is there is actual unity among the voters, among the people. In other words, you look at the opinion polls, it's not even close. People who support Medicare for all, free college, a living wage, ending the wars, a Green New Deal, legalizing marijuana, releasing nonviolent drug offenders, taxing Wall Street, the list goes on and on. People who support those things, it's the overwhelming majority of the actual voters. Hell, in one poll, even 51% of Republicans support Medicare for all. So being that the people are already on our side on policy, there's already unity. The only place where there's not unity is among the establishment. And they're just getting in the way of the will of the voters. So when you go after Hillary Clinton, when you go after the corporatists, you're not even going after her former voters. Because a lot of her voters, even if you poll them, they'll be like, yeah, I think everybody should have health care as a right. So where's the debate? There is no debate. There is no debate here. The only debate is going on. It's corporate elites trying to gaslight the rest of us and act like their position is popular. It's not. They're a paper tiger. The Democratic establishment is just as much of a paper tiger as the Republican establishment is, and Trump took down that Republican establishment like that and then built it back up because when he was president, and he is president, he's doing everything they want, but they didn't want him to get elected in the first place. They would have rather had Jeb Bush or Marco Rubio. So, but stop and think about that, man. The reason I say acknowledge we're in a civil war and win it is because nobody's actually on the side of Hillary Clinton. A very small, loud group of people, 10% of Democrats on Twitter, loud and aggressively pro-Hillary. So, since there's no actual fight going on among the people, and you need to recognize that you're on the side of the people, then they're just roadblocks in the way to getting positive change in this country. There's no need to apologize. There's no need to semi-apologize. There's no need to backtrack. There's no need to semi-backtrack. Yes, you can boo the person who's at 36% in the polls, 36% favorability rating, and is blocking every single positive change that we have in this country, right along with Donald Trump. So that's why I say acknowledge the Civil War and fight it, because, in this analogy that we have here, it's basically 90% of the country versus 10% of the country. Our side of the Civil War has 90% of the country because it has almost all the voters. They're just a paper tiger. Establishment neoliberal corporatists. Nobody agrees with them. If you make them sit down and explain all of their policy beliefs and write it out, and then just hand it to people and only have the policy beliefs written down. Don't say who came up with them or anything like that. And ask people, hey, do you support these ideas? Almost nobody would support them. Nobody. So you're afraid to take on those people? You think it might hurt you, or it might make you feel bad, or it might, diminish your popularity? No, if anything, it makes you more popular to go after these people. So you didn't need to apologize. Now, granted, the media was going to nonstop, oh my God, she's the worst, she's terrible, she doesn't believe in unity, she's evil. They disregard, but see, that's the thing, is the people could see through it. The people know. No, it's actually Hillary who started all this. She drew first blood. And so that's super important when discussing this, when having this conversation. So people know. The people know. And even though the media would turn on you, listen, it's one of those things where it feels terrible in the moment, but in the long run, you'll go, oh, if anything, that helped me. It's like the Joe Rogan thing. The Joe Rogan semi-endorsement of Bernie, and then the media went shitting on him. And if anything, in the long run, that helped Joe Rogan. Because everybody who was on the fence about Joe Rogan ended up defending Joe Rogan because they were like, come on, that description from the mainstream media is not fair at all. That's not fair at all. This is a similar thing here. Even though Rashida Tlaib was getting backlash from the media because she booed Hillary Clinton, everybody was watching the media saying this stuff and going, I think Rashida was kind of right. So there was no need to semi-apologize. And I hope that this lesson is learned and that moving forward we adjust and we don't pull our punches. I'm not saying you gratuitously go on the offense for no reason. No. But if there's one thing I believe in to my core, it's counterpunching. And she came after you first, so don't feel bad at all. I would have released a statement that said something along the lines of, last week, she divided the party, and she had some disunifying comments that said nobody likes Bernie Sanders. So forgive me for responding to her nonsense, something along those lines. And people would have went, oh, yeah, I guess she did start it, didn't she? So, oh, you don't want me to boo you? Well, maybe you stop shitting on my candidate. How you like them apples?